Well, Fabian, you may not have it written down there, but how are the injuries now you mentioned them? It was quite a long list. What about the likes of Lewis Dunk, Tariq Lamptey and Matt O'Reilly? Are they in contention to return?
So Lewis Dunk will be back. Matt O'Reilly will be back. Hopefully there will be both options for the game. Let's wait the session today, and Tariq will be out for a longer time.
Okay. Solly March?
Should be an option.
Should be an option. You've obviously had a lot of players away on international duty. I mean, you may not have even seen some of them yet. So could you just give us the latest on the likes of Joao Pedro, Karu Mitoma, who obviously had long trips?
So far, so good. So I didn't see them, but what I heard, they are quite in a good mood. Of course, they had small issues, especially Mitoma after his first game. But I think that they both will be fine and they both can start the game.
Obviously, it's the FA Cup this weekend. Do you feel the excitement around the club? I know you've had a 2-week break. It's been the international matches. But are you starting to feel that around the group, around the club, ahead of this quarter-final?
I can feel it, yes. So even when I spent some time in my hometown walking through the city, one of the Brighton supporter called my name and said he's really looking forward towards the game. So even in my free time, he said that we have to give everything in this game. And of course you feel it, but for me it's important that we don't make it like artificial big. It's of course an important game. It's an important game like all the other games. So we say, because in all the games we can improve ourselves. In all the games we have to go to the limits, and that's what we have to do tomorrow. So I'm not trying to make it artificial big. We all know that it's a big opportunity, a big chance, but that's like all the other games as well.
And there must be a positive feeling around the group with 7 games unbeaten and going on this great run at the moment.
For sure. So the guys I had here, they quite felt well. It was a good atmosphere, a good environment, also good work ethic. So I think all the guys who were out for some days, who had some days off, they came back with a lot of energy, with full of the spirit to continue this run, and that's what we try to do tomorrow.
And obviously that run began after the defeat to Nottingham Forest, that heavy defeat. I know you've spoken about it before, but is it something that you're going to discuss ahead of this game with the group, or is it very much you've drawn a line after it?
No, I won't discuss it, especially after the game or how we reacted after the game against Nottingham, because for me the most important is how you began the season. And from the start of the season we want to build a culture where we embrace the challenges and where we prioritize the winning. So for us, this club, winning of course is important, and we have a clear vision from the start. I came here with a clear vision what we want to do, and that's through the whole season. And then of course you challenge or you face different challenges, and you have to go through it without overreacting. You have to really commit to the process. You start from the beginning, and then of course there are some difficulties during the season. Then it's very important not to overreact and to understand what makes us strong as a team, and that was exactly the case when we lost against Nottingham. So we took, especially the players, they took a lot of ownership, they took a lot of responsibility, and they said, okay, we have to go back to the roots, we have to go back to the things that made us strong. And the things that make us strong is like working together, so showing a togetherness, showing intensity, and having this belief that we can beat every team in the league, but only if you push your limits, if you keep the standards high. And that's what we try to do through the whole season, and that's what we also try to do for the final part of the season.
What about Nottingham Forest? They're without their top scorer Chris Wood, who's out injured, but what do you make of them as a team now? Obviously you faced them relatively recently, but in terms of the strength of their team?
I think we only have to look at the table. So if a team is that long on the top of the table, then they are there because of a reason. So it's a top team. It's a team with a lot of individual quality. It's a team, they play very mature. It's a team, they know what to do to win games. So it's another challenge, another opportunity to prove how far we are in our development, and we try to make the next step tomorrow against them.
Thank you.
Morning, Fabian. You just mentioned during the international break you went home. Is that something you do regularly? What did you do? Just have a few days to switch off?
I wouldn't say that I switch off because, of course, you follow all the players and you hope that they have a successful journey. You hope that they play for their country, that they experience positive things. So it's not about switching off. Of course, I spend a little bit of time in my hometown. I spend some time with my friends, with my family. I think that's important because I don't see them that much. But a completely switch off is not possible.
You mentioned being recognised by a Brighton fan back in your hometown. How much has your life changed since you became a Premier League manager? Because I guess there's a lot more people back at home that know who you are now. There's a lot more people around the world that know who you are.
For me, I'm not thinking about things like that because I think it's part of the business, so you have to accept it. For me, the life doesn't change because I want to stay always the Fabian I am. So I always want to be that guy who's available for my players, who's the biggest supporter of my players, who embraces the challenges, who works hard for the club so that the club can be successful. And that's how I want to be seen. And therefore I'm not thinking about if I'm recognized there or there. That's part of the business and I know it. So I'm not that guy who thinks, oh, I can't do that or that anymore. I want to just live my life, and my life is football, and I'm obsessed with football, and therefore I try to focus on these things.
A lot of people say this year's FA Cup is more open than it has been. Some of the big clubs that you'd expect to get to the semi-final and the final stages have been knocked out. Does it feel like there's an opportunity for you? How do you see it?
So I faced a similar situation last season with my previous club, St. Pauli, where we were in the quarterfinals and a lot of big teams were out, and I had to answer the same question. So for me, the clubs who are at the moment in the tournament, they are still in the tournament because of a reason. So they did well in the rounds before, so they deserve to be there, and they deserve because they are in a good form. So when we look at the other teams, Crystal Palace, an amazing phase at the moment, Bournemouth, amazing phase, Fulham is playing an impressive season. So they're all very, very strong teams. Nottingham Forest is there because of a reason. So I'm not saying, or I wouldn't say that because Liverpool, Arsenal and the big teams are out, the chance is bigger. It's always an opportunity to win a title if you are in a FA Cup. So of course, if you are there, you want to make the next step, but you can't think now of winning a title. You have to make the next step. So the next step is Nottingham Forest, and they've really tried to focus on.
Obviously, I know you're focused on the next game. I guess one of the things you would have thought when you came into the football club is you want to leave a legacy, you want to leave a mark, you want to leave something that perhaps has never been done before. And winning an FA Cup would be something this club's never experienced. They got to the final in 1983. So could you go better? Could you leave something? Is that something very much in your mindset?
No. For me, the most important is when I come to a club that I try to be authentic. I try to give all the players the help to improve. I try to create the togetherness in the group, and when I might leave the club one day, then I want to leave this club with a lot of positive comments about me, to recognize who I was as a person. And of course, I think when you act authentically, when you trust the process, when you be yourself and give everything for the club, then you might win something together with all the others. But it's not about me, and it's not about winning a title to build a legacy. It's more about trying to achieve something as a team. Because I think that's what the club is the vision in the next years, and that's what we try to go for, especially this part of the season, and that's what we try to focus on now.
And just finally, from me, a quick word on Nuno. He's done an incredible job there. The way he's transformed Forest from a side looking over their shoulder, worried about relegation, to on the verge of Champions League football. When you analyse the team, what has he done? How has he transformed that club?
A winning machine. He built a winning machine. So, like I said before, they have players who have individual quality. They have play a style now that fits completely to the profiles of the player, and that's something special, and that shows his quality. So it's very difficult to beat them. They can defend very compact. They are very good in transition. They are very good in set pieces. They are very good in breaking the rhythm of the opponent. They defend quite good when they are in a compact organization. So he built a team that is so difficult to beat. He built a team with players who know how to win Premier League games, who know how to win a FA Cup games. So it's massive what he did, and he deserves a lot of compliments.